Hello, once again, one more video. This time I will just show you how to use fprintf command mainly. So, and then using a different software for video like a screencasting. So I have experienced before that my voice gets like repeated many times like at different points. So I don't know if it's gonna keep doing it or not. So but anyway, even if it does, then I probably still gonna upload the same video, so instead of doing it again. So wanted to show you fprintf. So let me write this first, fprintf. So and mainly how to print a table. So let us create a bunch of numbers here. Let's say x equals to 1 colon 10. Okay, and then I wanted to create let's say y equals to say x dot power 2, which is x squared plus 2. Let's say I wanted to create a z values would be more like square root of x, maybe sqrt of x. So I have this three different numbers that I three different variables. Each of them is an array, horizontal array. So since x is an horizontal array, so y and z must be a horizontal array. So my first job is to put them together in a table format and then print them using fprintf. So I'm going to do it both a table format with and using display and fprintf command. So if I simply use display, which is the easier for printing tables. Table, let's say table using disp command, and then I'm going to put a comma, another display, not dips, sorry, disp, and this time I wanted to put in x, y, and z, so I'm going to be under in the quotation would be x and bunch of spaces, y and bunch of spaces, say for example z, and put semicolon and then display. And then again remember that this comma or semicolon doesn't really matter, because either way, like, display will display the sentence that I want to display. So then I'm gonna displaying the values. So what the way that you want it to display, like you put like x, y, and z as a column. So the first column would be all x, second column would be y, third column would be z. So all three columns like side by side. So since there are three different variables, so like where three different columns are assigned to, so I'm going to put like first variable x, but which actually was defined as a horizontal row. So I'm going to have to put in x transpose, which is a column, first column, and then the second column will be next to the first column. So I'm going to put a comma, and then let's say do y transpose, and then let's say do z transpose. So if I keep that as is, so since I don't want to do CLC every time, so I wanted to do it at the beginning, and then I hit run section. So let us see how this look like. So I have 10 values there. The first one, table, is in display command, and I obviously have x, y, z kind of like not aligned at all. So but I know that x has to be moving to the right quite a bit, so I'm gonna do like a bunch of like that. That might take care of this. So do it again, and then I see it's a lot better. So, and if you wanted to choose like to put a little bit more between y and z, which is fine, and like x, and then do it again. So so now it's even better. All right, so now I have the xyz using the display command. I wanted to do the same thing using the fprintf command. So I would type in fprintf I would type in screen printing using a printf, and you wanted to specify next line, because otherwise, printf, you have to specify everything with the next line, space, tab, like there is a command for everything. So put a semicolon there, and then a printf, then you have three different values. So first one would be x, and then let's say space and tab, because tab is just like in a bunch of spaces together, but I since you have your like four, I think about four spaces is equivalent to one tab, so it's just quick, so that way it's looks nicer, simpler. So put another tab there, and then put a Z. So it may not match eventually, so I may have to come back and then put additional tab or spaces later. So I have the header for the table, and then I need to print the table. So what numbers, how many numbers do I really want to print in each row? So and since like based on the previous numbers the printed using display command, I know the first is the x, then y, then z. There are three numbers that I'm printing, and first number is typically integer number, so you could choose like with the 2-digit, like with the nothing after decimal point, which is perfectly fine. So it would be a percent, which is the specifier where a number will be printed. So percent, say 2.0f, which is perfectly fine, and then do space and tab, and then the second number, which may be integer, maybe not, because it's x squared. So I would assume that this is going to be integer 2, so plus 2, so it is an integer number. So and there is no fractional point. The square root will be fractional, but this one is not. So you could choose like how many numbers you're going to get. So I don't know, like maybe 4 numbers, I don't know, it depends on how big your x values are. So let's say 4.0f, percent 4.0f, and then put a tab, space and tab, and then for the last number z, which definitely will have some decimal points. So how many decimal point you want? So let's say that you want only 2 decimal points. So then 2 decimal point is 2 filled with, and then decimal is 3 filled with. And how many number do you think it might go here? So maybe 2. So 3 and 2, 5. And the reason that I say 2, because that I chose 4. If there is something 4, like say 1000 is a 4 number, so square root of 1000 is 100, so that would be actually 3 numbers. So let's do 6 then. So this 3, and then I wanted to put another 3 here just to make it more robust, like in any number, whatever your x would be, it might take care of that. So let's do 6.2 percent 6.2f, of course, percent 6.2f. So I have all 3 numbers printed. Now I wanted to do next line, and the most interesting and the tricky part is right here. So how do I what do I write here? So if I simply, many of you would think, well, let's go ahead and write x comma y comma z, because those are the 3 numbers that are printed here, here, and here. This is for x, this is for y, this is for z. But you should realize that when you typed in x, the Matlab doesn't take x as one number, it's taking 10 numbers right here. So is it not going to print all 3, first 3, all 10 numbers first before it moves on to y? Of course, that's how it should, right? So, but you wanted to make this more like a matrix. Then you were restricting Matlab to print numbers along the columns. So you will print the first column, then second column, and third column, and so on. So to make that happen, so make them in a group, like an x, y, z in a group, and then make sure that the first column is your x, y, and z. So first row, first column, first row is x. Second row, first column is your y. Third row, first column is your z. So right now your x is a horizontal array, y is a horizontal array, z is a horizontal array. The moment that you put in a bracket and with comma in between, so it's going to be, if I simply keep this, x, y, z is going to be like 10, 10, 10. So 30 numbers are going to be all in the same row. It's going to continue really big row like if I put comma. So what if I wanted to put semicolon? Then all the 10 values for x will be printed, will be located here in the first row, and then semicolon y. So then the next second row would be all the y values, and third row will be all the z values. So now you are creating a matrix with first row with x, second row y, and third row z. But if you look at the columns, first column will have three values. First column will have x value first, then y, then z. So that's exactly how you want to print in the first row of fprintf. So I wanted to keep, instead of transposing, I wanted to put, because these are all rows, let's put all three rows next to each other. So up and down, up to, so it creates a column, first column with x, y, and z value. So if I wanted to print now, and let's see what it does, and I'm gonna, so screen printing using fprint, and of course there's not aligned, which is perfectly fine, we can modify it later, but this is exactly how you want it. So you look at all the x values, so x 1 2 3 10, and then y starts from 3 and all the way to 102, and then you can verify with this also, it's 3 6 11 all the way to 102, and z is from 1 and then 3.16 to 3, so it is coming in 3.16 because you wanted only 2 after the decimal point. So I hope that makes sense. Now I'm gonna go back here and then gonna reorganize. So how about y, move y like about right here, so about 4 spaces, and z will be right here. So you need one tab between x and y, and then maybe 2 tabs between y and z. So between x and y will be 1 tab, and maybe one more tab between y and z. So let's try it now. So oh, no, that's not what I should have done. It's like as the tabs are in the in right here, so it's not on the values are already far apart. So I'm gonna put right here. So let's see now. So x, y move a little bit, but still it's perfectly fine. So if you are you can eliminate one space, or let's I don't know, I talked about it a little bit, like you can put a backspace there. So like you print all these spaces, then put one backspace, so I'll be right above, right, y will be right above 3. So let's try this now, and it moved one tab, backspace, there is a tab there, so it moved one tab. So I think that would not be a good idea. So instead of I just removed the space between the tab and then y. I think might be a better idea here. So right above 3 there's a y, so then this is one backspace. And since the space there was a tab, so it was actually eliminating the entire, it was going back to by the entire tab. So now it looks perfectly fine. So, and again, this was easy fix. After you can't print the table, this should be perfectly fine. All right, so I'll stop right here, and then hope this clarifies how to do the print.